Yeah. Move this right here, actually.
Smart. Very smart. Fucking have to do live streaming. I want to start live streaming too, but I need a phone, right?
Wait, you don't have a phone?
Well, I do, but most of the people on my phone are they're unawoken. Like all of them, dude. Like I know, like all of them have short ass attention spans.
Hey man, that's one thing that that does unfortunately tend to suck when you're trying to have like there's literally nobody at my work that that I could literally have like an intellectual conversation like this with, because they would just be like, yeah, dude, I don't know, but and it's like you don't fucking get it, but then you gotta like sort of think.
Yeah.
They can't see that far. It's weird for me because I can't even like. It's weird for me to even think that I can't understand this.
They're not gonna know what the fuck you're talking about.
Oh yeah,
you're just gonna be another crazy person.
Yeah. They're fuck man. I've seen this one video. No, I mean it was one of my videos, and somebody it was one of my YouTube videos, and somebody commented. I forgot which one it was, but they were like, "Who is this cult leader, man?" And I was like, I mean, if that's what we're rolling with, then sure, but it was funny, man. And I remember there was actually this other video too. It was why girls don't like nice guys. It was a long video,
I
a
remember
long
that.
time ago. Yeah, and one of the comments under it was from this I know she was a feminist, and she said this video is dog trash. Get cucked. And I was just like, I was like, damn, pretty hard.
Oh, that's fucking funny. Dog trash.
I didn't know whether to take it serious, and I was just thinking to myself, like, I mean,
I would have took a little hit.
Oh man. But yeah, it's and I can tell when somebody's like you, because you there's times, I don't know if you've had conversations with people like back with my friends, when like I remember there was this guy, John Michael, a friend of mine. It was me, him, the younger brother, like my best friend at the time, and like we just had this group, and we used to like work out together, and then we'd have like these circles where we just gather in the front yard, and we would just talk for so long about like shit like this and whatever. Like we would bring up like vibrations or uh creating your reality or what, like we would just topics on topics on topics. And I remember there was this one guy, he'd always somehow he like we'd be in the middle of like really getting on to something, and then he just come in, be like, yeah, like you see this tape here, like it just matter, man, we're all matter. Or like random stuff like that didn't really like, that was, I guess, in a sense spiritually sensible, but it didn't actually pertain to what we were talking about. And it was just kind of like, what? And like we'd be on to something, and then he'd say like, yeah, man, like just the way, like if you just think, man, it's yours, dude. Just manifest law of attraction, bro. And I'm thinking, it's okay not to understand it, like Oh, it was fun. It was funny seeing that. But yeah, it's very easy to tell whether someone's engaged with that conversation or not, because you can just tell, like, are they giving feedback into it, or are they just kind of standing there like, I'm here.
Yeah.
Don't really know what to say.
Well, the thing with me is, I'm like the ultimate fuck, dude. Like, whenever someone talks, they don't stop. Usually. So I got a battle with zoning out. Like I give really, really good attention, but sometimes they just go off, and they like off, and it's just like, all right, keep going. something you got to work on. You're now putting that on me. Like you can go to someone else and they'll do the same. Like literally all you're doing is putting that depression. Like you're trying to source other than yourself. Like that's one thing that I don't like. But lots of people do it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find another way to put that, because that does experience, but I don't know. Oh, I did an energetic fucking whatever the hell you call it. Something catharsis. I don't know how to say
bioenergetic catharsis.
Therapy.
Yeah.
How do you say it?
Bioenergetic catharsis.
Catharsis. Okay, that's the only thing I needed. Catharsis. I did that today, and dude, it was the most powerful one I've ever had yet.
Oh.
Dude, I literally felt freedom afterwards. I was crying and laughing at the same time. And I laughed for like 10 minutes, dead ass, with my eyes closed.
Oh my heavens.
Dude. But I was screaming like a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
I did that for about 20 minutes nonstop. I had to breathe because I couldn't catch my breath. I was all fucking sweaty. And then after I was done, dude, holy fuck. Crazy. And the thing with that is that also makes your voice deeper. I don't know if you know that, but if you do it right, if you scream from your stomach, it makes your voice a lot deeper.
Yeah. Very, very interesting. You just brought up bioenergetic catharsis. I got this comment from it was one of my YouTube videos. It was actually the bioenergetic catharsis video I posted, right? And there was this guy. I don't know how familiar you are with Elliot Hulse and his practices on bioenergetics, because that's mainly.
Dude, when I first saw it, I was like, "What is he doing?" But now that's something I want to go back and watch.
Yeah.
I was doing the exact same thing. Fucking spit was coming out and everything.
Well, it was a video, and it was on that bioenergetic video, and the dude said he commented basically, he's like, well, you see, this is only like a he said it's not real bioenergetics. And I'm thinking to myself, what? And he's saying, like, see, Elliot has his own method of bioenergetics. See, there's a real method to this. This is really just like an insult to the real method. All you're doing is screaming like a madman here. There's that. He's like, and he was bringing up, like, you know, you can use voice to dislodge emotion and stuff, but you're just screaming and being wild. And I'm thinking to myself,
yeah, I was actually doing all that this time.
And I was thinking to myself, I'm thinking like, bro, okay, one, you saw the result of the bioenergetics. You saw the release, not the actual bioenergetic movements being put into practice. And then it basically called me out and Elliot Hulse, and he was saying, like, you know, did you even bother to look up any real practitioners instead of pretend ones like Elliot? And I was like, I'll be gladly enlightened if you could give me a legit practitioner. And then he's like, yeah, okay. He linked me to a video. I watched it, and I'm like, there's no difference. You know, like there were certain moves they were doing that Elliot hadn't done, but overall they led to the same result. It was putting your body in a position where we could get vibration going, and when we could get that when you get to vibration, then you start getting the sound, and then once you get the sound, it starts to go. And I'm like, yeah, that's what you do, you know? And I'm thinking, what is leading him to think that this is a special practitioner different from Elliot, you know? And I'm thinking, like, a lot of people, I don't know if it's just the fact that they don't feel comfortable with accepting that, or because a lot of people, they see Elliot's videos, you know, because he goes pretty fucking madman with his shit, you know. And it's like, so you know, if somebody runs into that for their first impression, they're just thinking, you know, there's a lot of people who are thinking, yeah, man, like you're clinically like off, dude. You need to like go get checked. And it's like, no, dude, he's just letting free, man. He's just letting free. It's like you really gotta just try it, you know. And it's like it doesn't. There's so many different bioenergetic positions you can put yourself in order to get the emotion, and different ones will give you different results. Like I remember, I don't know if I told you this, when I used to do the bow, right, where I'd stand up, bend my knees, arch my back, and I I'd hold that. Yeah, I'd hold that for like 30 seconds or so, right? And what I found was pretty much almost right at 30 seconds, just a little before, if I started making the sound of how I felt, because I vibrate instantly on first breath. Like as soon as I'm in there, I'm going. Like every exhale is just like it sounds like.
Yeah, dude, that's what I was doing. Holy fuck!
And
like, I was wondering. I was like trying to breathe normal. I was like, but it would just come out like that. Like
yeah, that's breaking up the pattern. That's breaking up the muscular restriction. And when I started doing that, what I noticed is like, so if I just felt it, I'd be like, let out the sound of how you feel right now, and it would be very similar to something like this. Something very similar to that. And I knew, I was like, hold. And like there was this one time where I held it for a little longer and like my eyes started to tear up a bit. And I'm like, so I knew there was a lot of tension trapped in the chest. And so I started to work with that a bit, and just putting myself into that movement got that vibration to break up, and I was able to start accessing that feeling a lot easier.
Yeah. It's fucking crazy.
Oh yeah.
I don't know shit about that, but I still kind of do it. I need to look into that, dude, because I didn't know anything about the different positions. I would just go fucking wild.
Yeah.
I'd be all over my room hitting shit and just screaming.
Yeah.
But I think I did it right today, because I know I did it right today because, dude, I haven't felt this way in a while.
Mm-hmm.
In a long while. It's fucking powerful. Like, can't knock it until you try it.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's hilarious. It's just straight up hilarious. I ain't even gonna deny it. Sometimes I go back and I look at it and I just fucking laugh. But it's like at the end, what it really comes down to though, like it's a legit practice, and it's intense. It's ugly. It's weird. It's whack.
Yeah, especially if you have family members.
Oh yeah. But you know, at the end of it, dude, I'm telling you, it's some of the best therapy you will ever receive. I remember there was this one girl who was talking to me on YouTube. She was commenting under my videos, and you know, she was bringing up how she had a lot of repressed anger and how bioenergetics might be useful for her. I was telling her like, you need to go for it, and she was bringing up how like she was about to go for it, and she like somehow when it was like coming up for her, she stifled it right back down and just stopped. She didn't go all the way with it. And I was like thinking, yeah, that's your problem. You're not going all the way with it. And it's either because you're, for some reason, whatever environment you're in or whatever, however you're doing it, you're not completely safe. You don't feel completely safe and vulnerable.
That's how I was too. Something would hold me back. And I didn't even know what it was, so I would just stop at a certain point and think that was good enough.
Yeah.
But you gotta let it all out.
Oh yeah. Dude, like I could take up to like a good 2 hours if it has to. You know? It's a long process.
Holy fuck. Holy shit. That's long.
Oh yeah.
Mine lasted tops 25 minutes.
Yeah, no, some sessions go.
The ending was like accept like the new feeling. That took about 15 minutes, 20 minutes.
Yeah. I remember, what's up, Mike V? And I remember on one of my last sessions.
Hold on. Dan, this dude gave me one of the best nicknames in the world. And I have so many nicknames: Blackfoot, Squanto, blah, blah, blah. This one, he just call me Bean Dip.
Bean Dip. Oh, I'm dead.
What were you saying?
I forgot. Fuck. Oh yeah, after. I remember after one of my last bioenergetic sessions. It was very I remember just like the tranquility I felt. I remember I went into like the fetal position. Some of the best peace I ever felt, like ever. That shit was just relaxing.
Crazy. And you just feel so like that energy it gets to come out afterwards.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm gonna end this real quick, but go ahead and join in on the next one. How's everybody doing on YouTube? Oh, wait. Ooh, yeah. All right, here we go. Let's see what happens. Live stream ended on me on Instagram. We're taking a little longer tonight. If y'all have any questions, feel free to ask. We are open to some topics or answers. We thought we were going to get a little more, but we weren't entirely sure. So we were just waiting on it, essentially. Thinking, all right. Yeah.
Yeah, fucking powerful. Very powerful.
Oh, yeah.
One thing I wanted to talk about was melatonin.
Ooh.
Now, this is a real tough one because most of my followers are either white or my race. I don't even like saying race anymore because I've learned so much shit about.
Wait, melatonin or melanin?
Melanin, not melatonin.
Yeah, because I was like, as soon as you started talking about race, I was like, wait, that's skin pigment. We're talking about the sleep hormone.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't even want to speak on it because I know a lot about it, but I don't know how to talk about it because it's something I've never talked about before. But it's more of like a spiritual thing between the connection with melanated people and their selves. Like, how many fucking like powerful black people have there been? Like so iconic. Martin Luther, fucking Malcolm X, dude. Like there was just something about them. I don't even want to talk about this anymore because like I don't even know too much about it. But I really resonate a lot with black people and darker skinned people. As far as white people go, dude, it's very rare that I befriend a white person. I mean, like, a lot of my friends are white, but that's because I lived in a white environment.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know too much about melanin from us. I only really think of melanin from its scientific standpoint. Just because of yeah, all I really know is its scientific points. I never really thought much about the spiritual aspects of it and whatnot.
Yeah. This is something really cool that I just want to get off real quick. You know, fucking. Do you like Star Wars?
That's so weird that you fucking said that, dude. Because literally, a YouTuber just commented Star Wars.
All right, we're about to get into this. You know Anakin Skywalker?
Yeah.
All right, so the reason why George Lucas named him Anakin Skywalker is because you know that fucking that alien species, the Anunnaki.
No, I haven't heard of that.
You never heard of the Anunnaki? ANNUKI? Or UNAKI. Holy shit, you gotta look into that, dude. And then he called him Skywalker because, like, dude, all of it is based on aliens. George Lucas, like, he was woke as fuck. The Anunnaki, Skywalker, dude, crazy shit. And the Jedi, Jedi spelled backwards is I forgot how to say it, but it's like a, dude, I don't even know too much about it, but it's crazy. I'll talk about it another time when I learn more about it, but that's weird that someone commented Star Wars. What the fuck are they talking about?
Yeah, no, because he was saying, like, he said, what is your color, Star Wars?
Crazy like that.
Ooh. 15.
Right back.
I'll take this out. I don't need this right now. I'm trying to be delicate with that.
But yeah, apparently, George Lucas, like, the Star Wars is based off of spirituality. The Sith are based off of the spirituality. The Jedi are based off of God. Against the dark side.
Yeah. Is the guy speaking Star Wars daily? I guess not. I thought so. He was talking about. Wait. Oh, that's why he said, "What is your color, Star Wars?" Wait, is the guy speaking Star Wars daily? No. Star Wars daily is another guy. I guess not, but I thought so. Because I had a YouTuber in here that named Star Wars Daily, and he was asking him because he thought that guy was you speaking. So he was asking you, "What is your color, Star Wars?" Because he thought you were Star Wars Daily. I guess not, but I thought so. He was talking about people's color. That's what that was. I'm confused. He's the only one signed in on my screen, so I thought that was him. No, yeah, the guy speaking is off my Instagram live. Yeah, so that's why it's doing that. Because I got my Instagram live stream going, and I got my YouTube live stream going. And his color is purple. No, I'm just kidding.
That is my color.
Wait, is that really?
Like, I'm obsessed with purple. I got 3 purple sweaters.
Is purple your favorite color
the song
overall?
I'm listening to right now is called Crown Violet. Dude, I don't know why, but the girls on my Instagram are crazy. Remember that last girl that came in yesterday, or last time we live streamed? That was a crazy girl. I was about to warn you, but I didn't want to say anything.
Wait.
The one that asked about video games?
Oh, video games. Somebody asked about video games last night? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah. He said like 5 things, and I'm like,
shit, I don't remember.
Next topic.
Ooh, I got something. What do you think What do you think is the best way to test your compatibility with someone?
Well, first you got to know their zodiac. Um, you got to know if you're compatible with that zodiac, because if not, literally like it's pretty much like a battle. If you're not compatible, it's like a battle. Like I've tried to be with people that are with like uncompatible like like an uncompatible zodiac sign, and it's just it's all uphill and downhill. But that and sorry, what was the question?
Like, what's the best way to test compatibility, in your opinion?
All right, so first off, you gotta look at people like a book. You can't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah.
You gotta flip through the pages, skim through it. You can you're getting into new chapters, and you gotta take it with a grain of salt. You gotta take people with a grain of salt, because that's a really fucking hard question, dude. Compatibility, it's not only about like how compatible like you are in the sense of being compatible. Like, can you do that? Like, can you be yourself with that person or not? Because if you can't, that's what I was trying to get to right there. If you can't be yourself with that person, if you got to change yourself to match with another person, like just to match their being,
Yeah.
you're just fucking yourself over in a sense, because you're always going to be chasing something that's not you.
Yeah.
So the best way is if you click with that person and you feel good talking to them, and you guys like interests really aren't even too much of a thing, but it is important. Like, if you guys have the same interest,
Yeah.
that does help. But if they have the exact same interests, that makes it a little harder. Same views, I don't know. The main thing is just, give that person a chance. Compatibility, it does matter, but with people, you can only go so far. They're either going to stay in your life or they're not going to stay in your life. Just take it how it is.
Yeah.
No reason to trip about it. If you're compatible, you're compatible. If you're not, you're not. You'll find out.
Yeah. I was gonna say, my two things would be, first one would be to put you and that person in a situation where it's like it's just the two of you. So like a really good example would be like if you guys take a road trip together or something, um, you know, where it's just the two of you guys, handling it yourselves, or like living with each other for like a week or so, because that way y'all really get to see. Because once you start to combine living habits together, then you guys really start to see an interesting side of yourselves. That was gonna be number one. Number two was gonna be that thing that you said, um, and specifically this exactly, what you were saying, like, can you be yourself authentically around that person? I think the best way to know whether you're being yourself authentically or not is, can you say what you do you feel comfortable saying what you want to say, or do you feel like you have to modify what you say for them to be okay with it?
There you go.
Because I've caught myself doing that a few times, where I'll like, there's the first thing that comes up to mind, and it's that natural thing that wants to be said, and then I retract and I'm like, no, that's not the right thing to say. And it's like, no, that was the right thing to say. You're just thinking about the thing to say that they're gonna like. And I was big, because it's like, if you're having to modify yourself for someone, then all you're doing is creating a facade for them to fall in love with. And then once to engage with. And then what's worse is that you're only going to keep that up for so long. Once you got them, you're going to go back to your normal self. And then that's when shit really goes wrong, because then they get bait and switched on. So
and now they have to modify themselves.
Yeah, and then it just
people don't like that.
It's a whole fucking tailspin.
Like I said, eventually it's going to be a battle.
Yeah.
And you're both gonna have to fight for each other. It's just not gonna be right.
No, it's
like
not.
That's why you gotta learn. The zodiacs. Like people say that's new age bullshit, but even if you don't know too much about it, it still works. There's something about it. Like I'm really good with Scorpios. I love Scorpios. I don't even know too much about the compatibility between Scorpios and Cancers.
Oh, it's high. It's fucking high. Water signs together, that's really big, and earth signs with water.
Yeah, that makes real sense.
Yeah.
What about earth and fire?
Earth and
fire. Water and fire.
Water and fire. That's a conflict. Yeah. You're talking passion, aggression, leadership versus the calm extinguisher, the more emotional side. Fire is just like yang, and the water is very yin-like, and that can be very conflicting for the relationship, especially when the fire wants to be very like. I remember, for example, Sagittarius and Scorpio. In the last relationship I had, the chick was a Scorpio, and what I noticed was that she was very, very smothering. Like there were days where I felt very caged in. Like, for example, if I was angry, and I normally when I'm mad, I'm off. I walk off. I'm by myself. I can't be around people. I don't want to blow up on the people that I might be mad or whatever. Like, we can talk about it after I've cooled down. Don't expect me to talk about it in the moment. And that was the problem. That Scorpio was very, very heavy on like trying to latch me on with whatchamacallit, with like trying to tell her right there, right then. And I felt very caged in, and I got very it was horrible for me. It was very horrible.
Yeah, dude. I'm talking to this girl right now, and he really pushes her love on me. And I don't know. I don't even know if we're fucking compatible, dude. And I'm like she does it all the time. She's always validating me, calling me beautiful, this and that. And like I retract so much from that. And at first I thought it was because my heart was closed, because I got fucked up for my twin flame, where I fucked myself up with my twin flame. And yeah, that's why I resonate with that so much. Fucking the smothering thing.
Yeah. Knowing your needs are so important, man. Or knowing what boundaries you have with your partner. Like, there's certain things that I'm cool with my partner doing, and there's certain things that I really want my partner to do. But there's also things that like hold on. Oh yeah, there's things that like I want my partner to do and I want him to do, but there's also things that's like boundaries, like can't do this, and everyone needs to have that list, knowing. I don't want to say expectation, but it kind of is that. It's like being aware of what you can achieve from a partner. No, what just really the deal breakers and deal makers,
Wow.
Because I'm big on having a partner that can allow me to be emotionally vulnerable, but I'm very against a partner that forces me to have to tell them if I don't feel comfortable in that moment.
Yeah.
Or someone when I'm ready, when I need to go, when I need to walk, when I need to get out of the situation or whatever. And I'm not the type that's that like runs because it's like difficult in the situation or whatever. But like, say I just need some space, and and the stupidest thing was, and this is one of the things I sort of disagreed with some spiritual teachers on, where There's a spiritual teacher who said, if you need space, it's because you're being inauthentic. And I thought about it and I was like, I can see where it makes sense. But I feel like taking that advice really fucked me up in the last relationship. Because there were times where space was absolutely fucking necessary. You know, where I needed to have my alone time. I couldn't be stifled by this person every fucking day or and obligate myself to have to be stuck with this person every day. It wasn't necessary. When I needed that time to back off and have breathing room, that was valuable, and I never took that.
And people don't like that, those little breaks, even if they're small. This one time I took a 1 month break with a girl.
Oh,
that was big. Like that's just how I knew I had to get away. A month.
Yeah.
A month.
After a month, I would have. Hell, the moment I feel personally, if I feel I need to take a break, the relationship's already over. In my opinion, like I can understand if there's time we just need to, like, if I need to just go hang out with the fellas for some time, or if I just need to go focus on my life for a bit. Because I mean, we really, oh my heavens, we really are responsible for our own happiness, and you know that's not always gonna be our partner's responsibility. And I can't put that on my partner's. Oh my gosh! All right, hold on. Let me stick this in this right place. That sounded so wrong. Okay, it's like it's not my partner's obligation to keep me happy 24/7. There's things that I got to do for myself that's going to make me happy. And at those times, maybe I'm just going to have to back off and distance and find what I need to do, you know? But, yeah, just knowing when you have to get your breathing room in.
Yeah.
So if that makes sense.
That room is really important. Because when you're, this is another big thing. When you're with people, you're getting to know them. When you're with yourself, you get to know yourself.
Yeah, and you don't want to be losing yourself because you don't spend time with yourself.
If you're with someone,
that's what happens.
You become like them. That's why compatibility is so important, because eventually you're gonna clash. You're gonna go both ways. You guys are gonna go inside each other.
Yeah.
And it could be a battle, or it could be really good.
We actually got a comment here. It's funny because I'm a Taurus, but I always get along with signs that are supposedly not compatible to me versus the ones that are. Well, because the thing is, astrology goes deeper than just sun signs.
Yes.
You know, like personally, like some of my best like earth signs, I tend to make very, very good bonds with. I'm a fire sign, not supposed to do well with earth signs, but because I'm a Cancer moon and ascendant, you know, that plays in majorly to what an earth sign can do as far as relation. And even water signs as well, I can tend to vibe with still really well, even though my fire may conflict with that and get in the way, you know, being an Aries midheaven and a Sagittarius. That Cancer moon and ascendant really balances out. And plus my Mercury's in Scorpio. So you know, my communication was probably my communication goes very deep. And my intellect is very big on just getting is very obsessed. Once it gets to something, it wants to keep digging until it gets all the little details.
Yeah, true. I'm kind of like that too. But you're way ahead of me on astrology, though. I don't get too much. I don't even know. I don't even know all the zodiacs. Like, if you pointed a gun in my head and told me to name the zodiacs, I know all the names, but I don't know all the months. Like,
all I need to know is the birthday, and I know it.
Too much. Yeah. Like, if I know the birthday of someone, I could go from there. Like, I could figure out all their shit. I could figure out their ruling number. I could figure out everything. I could figure out whether I could be with that person or not. But I don't even do that a lot because I just like giving people a chance, you know?
Yeah.
Only 19. You're going to learn from them either way.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Finish this shit.
Yeah, I was big in astrology for a long time. I learned so much. It was very interesting. There are some things about astrology that like supposed aspects that should have worked out, but at the same time, there are aspects that will go wrong, even though they supposedly are supposed to go right. Like I remember, like for example, like I know Sun Moon.
Well, yeah, it's because people are two faced, dude.
Oh yeah,
Because people try they try deal with they don't know anything about compatibility, so they're clashing with all these. It's just a fucking wildfire. So you talk to people and not it's there doesn't matter what they fucking. Sometimes it doesn't even matter what they're doing. They're gonna act a lot differently.
yeah.
Conditioning.
I remember I had this again back. I remember I had this one girl I was with. We had a Sun Moon opposition. My sun was Sagittarius. Her moon was Gemini. Mine was 4 degrees. Hers was 3 degrees. So we were. It was opposition by an orb of 1 degree. And I remember when I looked up the aspect, that was like a yin and yang thing, and it was like really big on like marriage quality. So I'm thinking, oh shit, very very far from marriage quality at the end of that. Um, very, yeah. And then I remember, I think it was her Mercury was conjunct with my vertex, um, which was interesting because like vertex is very heavily related to like destiny, life path, and fate and whatnot. I just kind of found it interesting. So, but yeah, at the end of it, it just did not work. Like the Cancer symbol talks about being creative and having big imagination, being active and a good people person. Here I am, good at art and can invent many things and design different things. Paul Hayes, my best friend, was a Cancer. He was so funny. We are still best friends when it comes to dating, though Cancer guys come off as fake to me. I don't know why.
I can relate to that, dude, because I don't know. I think a lot of that has to do with what kind of guy you are, like blue pill, purple pill, red pill. But at the same time, Cancer guys, first off, we're sensitive, so we like to repress a lot of our emotions.
Oh
like
yeah,
to hide a lot of that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's a sign of weakness, that feminine side. And if you're a man, you want to try to be as masculine as possible, but that femininity.
It's very strong
showing
with
that
the Cancer,
girl.
dude. It's very strong with all the
Yeah, that's
water
why people.
signs, actually. Which is why like for me, why I feel like a lot of that, still being a male, why a lot of my femininity might be a lot more pronounced than most men, because I have so much of that water aspect within me. But a lot of my fire helps to balance that out, I feel so.
It's good.
But I feel like that also creates a lot of confliction within myself as well. Because there's that warrior that's like grrr, yang yang yang, but then there's also the moon that likes to creep in, and then it can create this whole emotional confliction within myself sometimes. Because when you have an identity and an ego like a Sagittarius, the wise, intellectual, whereas you have that Cancer as well, that sensitive, nurturing being, it can tend to conflict and tend to mix with each other. LOL.
I need to learn. I need to get deeper into astrology, dude.
It's very interesting. I remember, and there was this one girl I met. I did this with two people actually. I took their birth charts. First time I met them, we didn't even really have much conversation. I was like, what's your birth time? You got your birth time, birth date? Good. All right. And then I get their birth chart. And then the next, like right then and there, I'd interpret it for them, or like the next day or whatnot. And then but at the end of the interpretation, they would say, how the fuck did you get that spot on? And then I'd just be like, and it was so crazy because I could learn it was so interesting knowing so much about people. Like I was able to look at charts and know like, okay, this person has a lot of conflict with the mother. Like if I saw moon in the 8th house or something, I knew it was probably like an ill relationship or something. Or I remember seeing there were so many interesting aspects I could run into, and I'd be like, whoa. LOL. It's like they always try to manipulate me. They always act like they fall in love with you fast. I can understand that because here I am. I fell in love with a girl at first and I didn't know what true love meant. But then once I understood after a few months of dating, about to get married next year.
So, holy fuck.
That's
Is he still talking about cancer?
Yeah, no, it was Charity said she feels cancers try to manipulate her and they act like they fall in love with you fast.
Dude, I could relate to that. Because like we're so loving.
Yeah.
We're so fucking loving. And you want to get that love out as much as possible, but at the same time you want to keep that back. So you got to try and play a game. Like you kind of, it's like in a sense you're kind of forced to, but dude, that's tough. Because I'm guilty of that. I do manipulate sometimes, and I even catch myself, and it's not good. But sometimes it's always selfish.
Yeah.
But it's more for a good cause. Like you want to get that comfortability, and you got to find a way to get there. So what a lot of cancer got to do, including myself, sometimes is you got to kind of creep your way in there. That's tough. I mean, I could just go all out fucking beta male and just be my cancer and just, but
yeah,
do that.
With me, it's like, cause like I said earlier, I tend to grow attached to even the smallest sort of things, and I do tend to. I'm gonna be honest. I tend to move a little too fast sometimes in the way that I feel, and I catch that, and I gotta like be like, no, like you weren't supposed that you're not moving at a smart pace. You're not being logical about this. Like sometimes you catch yourself, you're like, oh my gosh, it feels so good. And then there's that other side of me that's like, yo, it's nice that you're there, but you got to recognize, like, hey, you might be going a little you might be going a little too quick here. You're not on your feet. Get back to reality for a second, and then it almost comes off like you're pulling it back from them, and you all of a sudden you don't care. It's like, no, it's not that. It's just I had to keep that lover in check because it started getting out of control. And when you let that lover get out of control, whether you're cancer or whoever you are, when you let that lover within you go what's the word? It gets too obsessive. It gets too expressive. That's when that's when toxic relationship doors start to open, because that's
I was talking about that with that girl. Like she's always pushing herself on me like that.
Mm-hmm. And that opens.
I don't really know what to do about it.
Yeah, it can really open an unfortunate door, because it fucks around. So it's like I really encourage everyone, like, be aware of your lover and embrace that shit. Some people love hard. Some people got a stronger lover than others. My lover's pretty strong, But unfortunately, I'm one of those people where my lover gets out of control, and I start to lose myself. I start to almost go into that beta male where I'm not being that man, and I'm starting to the things that made her fall for me, I'm not doing, and what it starts to fuck the whole thing up.
That attraction goes down.
Exactly, because that lover's just too far off. You're living in
That's what she's
that
talking
cloud.
about, that manipulation thing.
Yeah.
You got to adjust yourself, and it's not necessarily pure manipulation, but it's more of trying to get your way in there to establish
to keep your ground,
like a good point, like keep it balanced.
Yeah,
like it's a constant mind game.
Because some of them just let it get too far too fast, and they catch it and they realize like, yo, get your feet back on the ground, brother.
Yeah. I just for me, I don't really mess too much with like pulling back and all that. I just mostly I say what I feel, but at the same time I'm conservative because I know female nature.
Yeah, so I'm a lot more conservative now. Almost a little fearful because of what I know about female nature. Because it's like
that's how I used to be, but you just gotta accept it for what it is.
Oh yeah, just recognizing that it's there, it's in them, and just being smart about it. But also, like you were saying, establishing your boundaries as a man.
Oh yeah,
because that's
absolutely
big. Because if you can't put your boundaries down,
you gotta say that shit. You gotta man up, and you can't
put that manipulation in check.
Yeah. Because that's the manipulation part, when you don't say anything about it and you move a little bit away, and I don't know.
They say it works.
You gotta be a man. You gotta man up, set her in her place. Sometimes you gotta keep that attraction aspect at the same time while being alone. It's hard, especially with someone that's inexperienced.
Oh yeah, Because even me, because it's like I know how I tend to get in relationships, and I'm still very inexperienced, and it's like it's just weird. It's just knowing like how to. I don't even know.
It's all about awareness, dude. You got to be aware of what you're doing, how you're doing it, and how you're gonna do it.
Yeah.
But the last part's the manipulate. How you're gonna do it. I think that's where the manipulation part comes in place.
It takes a while for me to open up all about trust once I like in my ears. Not everyone is saying God made us all different for a reason, Charity. So do not be nervous or afraid to be who you are. I know I was just saying, and thank you. Honestly, one of the best a really good piece of advice I would really recommend is focus on finding your natural fit. In a sense, go, be yourself, and vibe.
Yeah,
but
you'll attract it.
Yeah, I mean, the thing you do have to watch out for, because there's people who do this shit where they will seemingly vibe with you, you might end up running into someone and you guys talk, and it seems like y'all might be into the same shit. It seems like y'all might really be on that same wave. You spend a little bit of time with them, though. You see, they're really not about all that. They on some other shit. Yeah. I've seen people where it seemed like, yeah, we were so moral, we had such good character, and then when you really got to know them, they were trash. They really didn't give a fuck about anybody. They were fake behind everyone's back, and it just you become disgusted with that, because it's like, that's not who I knew. I don't know, Jocko Willing, but I don't know if you've seen this podcast where he was talking about heartbreaks and betrayal, and he was saying that we make up when we get with people. There's a version of them that we believe exists.
I was about to say that, dude. But yeah, I saw this too. Go ahead.
And he, and I totally fucking agree. I've seen that with people where there's a version of them that I thought I saw, and then when you really look at it, there's this part of you that wants to believe that it's one thing, that it's that thing. It's just maybe it was a slip up or whatever. But it's like, no,
Yeah.
bro. You believe the fantasy that they put up, and
Yeah.
your brain reinforced that, and what that slip up that you're rationalizing as, that's their true colors.
Yeah. And the worst part is if someone does that on purpose, dude. Because, like, that's literally what they are. Is they're a spider. They make that nice little spider web. They get you in it, and they come and bite you in the ass.
Yeah. Feed you to the kids.
But sometimes it just comes out naturally. You fall in that trap. They don't even want you to come in that trap, but you fall in it anyways. They're still gonna bite you in the ass.
Oh yeah.
They might not do it on purpose. Just the circle of life.
Yeah. Really, it's just like, and so that's where awareness really has to be deployed, man. It's like, can you? It's just like it's very hard, man, because once you get used to that illusion of a person that can exist, it's very hard to convince your. It's very hard to believe that it's anything else.
Yeah. Yeah, that I was about to say is, dude, every single person that you know, your mom, your dad, your friends, fucking people that just see you in public, they all have a different version of you. Crazy to think about that. So many yous out there, but the only you that you have to express is you.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing, is expressing yourself.
Oh yeah, and then
if someone doesn't like it, suck my dick. But if you like it, all right, cool. See how far it goes.
Holding this up. I was gonna say something. Shit. But yeah, it's vibration and compatibility, authentic compatibility at that. Nothing that's forced, nothing that's like, just that's really just so big, man. Can you say what you want to say freely?
Yeah.
Can you be emotionally authentic with who you are, or do you have to stifle yourself in order to maintain something with that person? And even sometimes, yeah, because like I catch myself doing that. It's really common with females, because I've got that behavior where it's like I want a female to like me so bad once I become interested in her, and I almost feel like that shit fucks me up in the end of it, because it's like, um I strip away my best qualities and try to create this thing that they're gonna like, because I'm insecure in who I really am, or something like that, something along that sort of situation.
Yeah. Insecurities is a big thing.
Oh yeah, I've got a lot of them.
Comfort zone's also a big thing. I mean, it's not that big of a thing, once you get past the comfort zone of someone. My comfort zone's pretty fucking small. I think the main reason is those cold showers, dude, because like I'm like fearless now. I just step in there and I love it.
So this might work.
Used to, I would stand there and fucking look at the water. It would take 5 minutes to jump in.
I feel that.
And like it would be the same thing with a girl. Like I'd look at a girl and it'd take 5 minutes just to go talk to her. Now it's just like I see the girl, I'll go fucking talk to her.
Yeah. I do I do countdown method now, where it's like if I jump in the shower, or right when I'm about to get out of bed, 1, 2,
Yeah.
3. I do that every time, and it's like I try to get under that 10, because if I hit that 10, like Jocko Willing starts talking.
Jocko puts you in your fucking place, dude.
Oh yeah, I love it.
You'll be sitting there, you'll be acting, you know you're acting like a bitch. Then you hear Jocko, and it's just man, back to man.
Oh yeah. Honestly, Jocko and David Goggins, those guys are like.
Yeah, I was gonna say David Goggins too. Like, what, dude? What if you had to like do an exercise with both of them? Like,
I'd be down because I'd
yeah, I'd
want
be down,
that
but
pain.
I too.
I'd want that. Like it's just like because like I'm at this point in my life where it's just like I want that Navy SEAL mentality, dude. Like I'm not even gonna lie. Like I thought about like doing it, not even just because like not even because like of the fact that I want to fight in combat, but I want to fucking hang with those guys, man. I want to
Yeah,
test myself
like
amongst alpha
there's a certain
males.
aspect, dude. Like you gotta learn both the sides, the feminine aspect and the masculine aspect. But there's dangers. Too masculine, you're gonna ward off a lot of people. I bet Jocko I bet his circle is small as fuck.
Oh yeah.
But at the same time, if you're too feminine, you know, if you practice being too feminine, you're gonna end up turning gay. Like for real. Especially if you hang out with a lot of girls. That's one of the biggest things is like growing up. Yeah, like personally, I didn't grow up with a dad, so I always had my mom tell me what to do and this and that. And I always hung out with girls and all that. So in high school, I was a little bit on the feminine side. And I came here, and I remember the first day I talked to my dad. That was the first real conversation I've ever had with a parent, any of my parents. Like, and like that brought me into my masculine aspect. And I was like, holy fuck, you know, shit.
You atone to the
And then
father.
yeah, got that father aspect. So that's the same thing. You know, you watch those dudes of Jocko and fucking David. They got that father aspect to them. Like, you know, just fucking do it. With the feminine side, it's more like it's submissive, and
Yeah.
that's something that I don't like. Like, I'm naturally, I'm you know I'm a Cancer, but at the same time, I've made myself pretty
A fucking warrior.
I'm not gonna sit here and call myself hard, but
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I've been hardened through being feminine.
That's a little confusing. I think one of the best things I get to say is that I'm very similar to my father. Um, just because I look at myself like with how I am, and I think of my dad when he was younger, and like how he is now, and I'm like, damn, dude, like, fuck, it's almost scary how similar I get to
Yeah.
him. But it's like it's good for me because like I always thought to myself, I was like, that's the guy I want to be like. I really had that luck, man. I was
Yeah.
that fortune, and
With my dad,
that's
my
nothing I
dad's.
take for
Go ahead.
granted. So
What were you saying?
I was just saying that's nothing I take for granted. That was a serious blessing to have,
Yeah.
to be able to have that father figure in my life.
Mhm. When I first met my dad, dude, well, I mean, I grew up with him a little bit, but I moved to Alabama when I was 8. Moved back. I got kicked out by my mom. I had to come here because you can't get an apartment at 8. When I came with my dad, like he showed me a picture of himself when he was my age, and he's a fucking clone. And he told me about his stories, and I was like, dude, you acted just like me. And once he brought me into that aspect of himself, I started acting like him a little bit, so I got that masculine side
Yeah.
the first time in a while. And I looked at my mom and I was like, holy shit, I got that feminine side from my mom, that sensitivity and all that, but I learned how to be harder for my dad. And he was like, we're the same way. When we're mad, we get quiet. Real fucking quiet. And we just look. We just stare and we look.
Yeah. It's actually very interesting that you brought that up, how you got your sensitivity from your mom. Maybe I'm just naive to it. I don't really feel like I acquired. I mean, I feel like I've acquired more more dark aspects, and anything I've really acquired from my mom, I've probably like stuffed somewhere down in the shadow. Um, but a lot of that sensitivity that I've allowed myself to embrace over the past couple years was actually because of a woman who allowed me to, who introduced me to that. You know, so I find it very interesting that you brought it up how your mom gave you that sensitivity because that's kind of how it was for me. What allowed me to get so emotionally aware was a female.
Yeah, yeah, for real.
Going to that feminine side, getting the emotional knowledge. When it came to the warrior, gotta count the man. I remember the other day I actually
And one of the harder.
wait, what were you gonna say?
Shit, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, that's one of the other things too. Fucking, I said this in the last live stream. These days, men act like bitches and women act like men. So it's also part of conditioning too.
Yeah.
You gotta get away from it. You gotta get back to your true self. You're a man. You gotta be a man.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to. That's your choice. That's this new age shit. You know, you don't have to, but the way I see it, you know, I'm a man, so I'm gonna be a man.
Yeah.
And I was never allowed to be the man with my mom. I always had to sit down and listen.
Yeah.
And once she came out here, this was the first time I actually put her in her place. I actually felt bad about it, dude, because we gotten into an argument, and she was she's like a really big Christian. She got all my books, my astrology books, my fucking numerology shit, and she put them all on the table, and she deemed them all as satanic, dude. And she got like the whole family to come inside, and she put me on blast. And I put her in her place for the first time in front of everyone. This is the first time I'd ever seen my mom quiet, because she has a narcissistic quality. She's never ever wrong, and she puts a lot of her problems on people, and she'll freak out.
Yeah.
This is the first time I'd ever seen her quiet, because I told her like I literally for like 30 minutes I put her straight in facts and like how I actually felt, and I never opened up to her. I never talked about her feelings, my feelings to her. So that was like my moment of like manlyhood right there. That was just last year, and no one's ever made my mom quiet. So I don't know.
Dude, it was probably like such a shock to her that because you know, like you said, you know, that there was you never were allowed to be a real man with your mom. You know, she cause a lot of women don't realize this, but they end up castrating their sons. You know, they don't want them to be like their fathers at all. Because they don't want to be reminded.
Yeah, she always talks about my dad, man.
Yeah, and she didn't want you to be like him. And I think that when you stood up, she saw him and you, and that just was like that was probably almost like in a sense like shattering for her.
I bet that's what she saw for the first time in how many years? 10 years. And I remember my dad. This is the last thing my dad said to me before I left to Alabama. He said, "One day, that white man's not going to want you," and he's a little bit of a racist guy. And I didn't think of anything as a kid, but as soon as I turned 18, I got kicked out by that dude. So I came back. We had our first real conversation, and like that's I guess she saw that him and me, that fucking masculine aspect, and she shut right up and she listened, and she didn't know what to say. She didn't know what to do. And it's the same thing with my little brother. He saw that, and now she blames like everything. Like he's getting a little bit rebellious now, and he's starting to realize like, holy shit, mom's been manipulating me. It's just, you know, she's right under, you know, he's right under her wing. I was like, let him out. You're gonna have to let him out the nest one day.
Yeah, because now I guarantee you this. She's probably after that. I guarantee you she's probably so much more protective over that because she's like, okay, I lost him to the father. You know, Now she's really gonna like castrate, try to suppress that masculinity, keep him that boy because she doesn't want to keep she doesn't want to even think of that man again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I feel like my mom definitely tried to do the same to me. You know, she even shames me whenever I do stand up or whenever I sometimes if I do something that's similar to my dad, like even if I because you know we if I sign a certain way, if I throw something when I'm angry or something, or if I speak a certain way, she's gonna be like, "You're acting like your father," and she gets mad at me and tries to make me feel bad about it.
Yeah.
And I see that, and I'm like, I know I can tell she doesn't want me to turn out like him
Yeah.
because she resents him hardcore.
Yeah, that's the same exact thing with my mom. She hates my dad. I don't even know why, but it's just how it is. My dad's nickname is Dip. He dips it in a lot of women. I don't know how many brothers and sisters I have, dude. I have lots though. There's some long lost brothers out there, long lost sisters. They all come out from time to time. Like I'll find a new one.
You just go into the grocery store, like
dead ass. One time I went to the dance, and this woman came up to me. She was like, "You look just like my dad." And I was like, "Who's your dad?" And she was like, "Dip." And I was like, "Oh, shit, you're my sister."
You know, it'd be so awkward. I know this sounds so fucked up and weird, but imagine had you got with a girl and then not known, and then eventually she just, after y'all did it, laid up, she just sits there and be like, I don't mean to sound weird, but you look like him. Really? Who's your dad? And then she said it. It just.
Who's your dad?
Yeah. Oh. You would just have to sit there thinking.
Gonna have a little tism, kid.
I done fucked my sister. Oh man. Talk about that Alabama game. Ooh. Oh. 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 Let's see. Okay, we got some comments here. Let's. I know it's just really okay. Let's see. It's like confirmation because, like I've always said, charity God works in mysterious ways. So he may have given me that message to tell you right now to be able to help you to get back on track and understand things better. Oh well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Because through my life charity, I've barely had any friends, and they've been turned down and injected so many times. I think he meant rejected there. Kind of like maybe you no disrespect. I prayed to God about it to help me understand. Is this a Christian Minecraft server guy? Once I was able to understand and find the path, now I feel spreadsheet power. Okay, yeah, nothing. No questions here. Why are cancer guys so freaky? LMAO. The most memorable date I've had was with the cancer because of what he did.
Animal. I don't know. You ask. I don't know. Does it matter though?
Doesn't matter. Does it matter?
I think it's I'm trying to think about that because I was wondering that myself because I don't show it. I only show it in the bedroom, you know. That's a good question because I don't even know. I might have to think about that for a sec. I'm gonna have to meditate on that later. Actually, why the fuck am I so I don't know. I think it's that lover aspect, you know.
Just wanting to please it. Give it to me. Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's it. I think it's just that lover aspect. You just want to.
They just want to make you feel good, Charity.
Give it your all.
You know, if he's gonna eat you out, he's not just gonna eat you out. He's gonna eat you out.
I don't know. That's one thing I don't do anymore. Like I used to be big on fucking eating girls out, but I think girls lose a little respect for you when you do that.
Really?
Like even if it's just subconsciously, they lose a little because that's submissive. You know, that's a submissive thing. Is them laying down and you eating them out. That's not.
Huh.
So I don't do that too much anymore.
That's very interesting. I never thought about it that way.
No.
Low-key makes me not want to eat out anymore.
Fling, I don't do that.
I'm only trying to lay the pipe, you heard?
Yeah.
It just sucks that I don't last long, like, at all.
Dude, there's some exercises I'll take. Guys, for every guy that's listening, listen up. You got to exercise your pelvic floor muscles, okay? These are the muscles that involve you coming. When you stop, what you do is you're supposed to, there's a muscle in there. Mine, I don't even want to talk about it, but look it up.
I've seen some of the exercises. I've done a bit of them. It hasn't helped a whole lot. Probably because I wasn't really consistent with it though. So I know deadlifts and squats are really good at it though.
Yeah, there's lots of things.
It's going live for decades, man. He's probably gonna get a notification. So I got any questions? Any topics? You ought to tell me. Oh, there he goes. Oh yeah, he has a point. Wait, he has a point. But from a woman's perspective, I don't like it because I don't know where his tongue was a week ago. It's all about trust with me. I have trust issues. LOL. You don't have to. Ah, interesting.
Trust issue.
Ow! Ooh, yikes! That didn't feel too good.
But yeah, for all you guys, exercise those pelvic floor muscles. If you really, really have to, you can't stop, pull it out, squeeze behind the base of the head. Think about something else. There's lots of things you could do.
Problem is, I get like too caught in the moment. Like I remember, like the last time I got head, like I still remember it so clearly. I remember it was literally like as soon as she went down on it, it wasn't even but like a few seconds, and then like I tapped her shoulder because I was like, okay, wow, that was really like fast. I didn't think it was gonna like get ready to go that quick. And then as soon as she lifts off, and I'm trying to stop it, and I'm just like, fuck, dude. I'm like thinking to myself,
do you think that has something to do with nofap?
I don't know, because like I mean, I would say like definitely when you don't masturbate, your hair it definitely I actually that actually is interesting because you kind of think about it, when that energy finally is like ready to go, it's like I feel like it almost like plays you a bit, it's like it's like because like I don't know how well you remember like the feelings from when you masturbate or if you had sex, like when you're going and the moment that you're about to go and then when it's definitely like there. And it's weird because there's when you're about to go and then there's the point of no return. And it almost plays a trick on me where it's when I'm about to go turns out being the point of no return.
Oh shit.
So it's
yeah. people watching me and hola, hola. Croatian peanut butter and dark chocolate. I'm frowning so much because I have shit eyesight. What's a good song? Someone tell me a good song. You know what? I'm just gonna play some. You know what? I'm gonna play some Fleetwood Mac. Fuck you if you don't like it. I'm about to turn it up too. Just kidding.
Interrupting my goddamn live stream. I just seen your comment, Hayes. My snap is a lovable cherry. You'll see that. Never mind. She's giving away the snap, guys.
Uh-oh. There for all the attention.
They're exchanging the snaps.
Dude, I kind of got off of a couple days ago. I realized, like, you know, all these streaks with these girls. Why the fuck are we having these? So I just cut them all off, and it feels so much better because I don't know why.
I remember when I was
so
holding
I think I'm
streaks.
gonna start. Yeah.
It was just.
I always purposefully reset them once they get to around 10. Yeah, I just quit that shit today. What the hell is this? The chain. Dude, my feminine aspects and my masculine aspects, they're just so fucking polar opposite. Like, I'll listen to a song like this, Electric Feel by MGMT, and then I'll just go to, like, straight gangster rap after that.
I feel that. Yeah, no, I'm very all over the place with my music. I'll listen. Honestly, I'm so open minded to like anything. But you know, there's things I like and there's things I don't like. What the? Do I have 2 tags on this? So weird. I don't know where this tag came from. Y'all are out in Slidell. Hit up this shop right here. Get your cars fixed. Get them taken care of. Man, I can't wait to mod the fuck out of my truck.
What are you gonna do to it?
I'm gonna
what does
get.
It have?
Well, right now.
4757.
No, it's a 4.3 V6 right now. We just got the new motor in it. Old one was it got a lower intake leak, and because what happens is if you put a new intake on a motor that's got almost over 200,000 miles on it or so, you know that type of high pressure on an old motor can blow it out. So we were just like, you know what, just get the new motor.
Yeah.
And right now with that, after we break in the motor and get the new distributor cap on it, I'm gonna get some flow masters and a dual pipes going out the side. And then what I'm thinking about doing with I might get like a cowl induction hood. So, you know, like here's the hood, and like I want to arc it up, not too crazy, but like get a little arc on it. But I know I definitely want the dual pipes outside. Like I got a little model right. Oh wow, that all just fell to heavens. you see this right here, right there, go just right out the side like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I know lots about trucks. I modded my truck out the fuck out.
Yeah.
I can't really do anything else to it. It's a 04 Dodge Dakota. Like I sprayed the bed. I lined the bed. I lined the wheel wells. I put a little tiny little lift on there. Got some brand new wheels. Got some moto tires. Got some new headlights, new tail lights, new brake light with a brake light ram cover. Tinted the windows, little sound system in there. I got a brand new fan. I got a new brand new battery. There's lots of stuff. Lots of shit.
I need to get new headlights for my
Exhausted.
Yeah, I need to get some new headlights too, because for my 4th gen Chevys are very very. They have the worst headlights. They're bad, dude, because they get hazed up so fast. Yeah, they're very susceptible to damage.
Sounds so good though.
Huh?
They sound so good though.
Yeah, I want it.
Especially those classic those
5.7s. Yeah, I wanted to get a 350. And later in life, I might when the next motor goes out.
Dude, your truck is in crazy good condition. Like,
oh yeah,
it looks like I love seeing like older like even like 2002 trucks that just look fucking mint. Like it just I don't know.
21 years
and
old.
I like it when they're stock too.
1998.
Oh.
Yeah, we've had that truck for since 2012. Yeah, oh man, it's just awesome.
Oh no, that's so weird to think. Like that truck's older than
me. Yeah. I remember when we were on a move. I was on a moving job, and my friend, he was in the truck with me, and he was like, "Yeah, dude, I don't see many trucks like in condition like this, dude. It's Hey, she wasn't a Taurus. She was an Aries. Her birthday was early April. I'm pretty sure. But what was I saying? But yeah,
about the condition of the truck.
Yeah, no, like he was saying, like, yeah, I don't see many Chevys like in this type of condition. I'm like, I know they usually get fucking just trashed. They're not well maintained. I'm like, shit, I know. That's why I'm like, I'm really trying to take care of this. And plus, to me now, it's like I just when I like now that I'm just driving it, like I'll be driving around, even though it's like not technically an American classic, I be feeling like it is because it's just so old.
Yeah.
And it's like crazy to think like 10 years from now, that truck's gonna be like, because we have a 76 Ford. It's my dad's.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm thinking to myself, it's like in 10 years, that truck is gonna be the same age that yellow truck was when I was just a little 4-year-old.
Wow.
And it's like wow, that's where we're at now. It's just awesome, man. We gotta.
Damn, I feel old, dude.
Oh
like,
yeah.
I'm only a year younger than the truck. I'm about to be 20. I was working out with this girl the other day, and her boyfriend in jail called her, and she of course she's not going to tell him that she's going to work out with a dude.
Oh yeah.
I guess he expected that. He expected like a girl to. I guess he wanted to talk to her workout partner. He expected a girl, and then he heard my voice, and he started asking me all these questions and all this, saying he's going to get out in 4 months. And I was like, dude, I can't be interviewed right now. I gotta work out. Sorry, I can't talk to you right now. I gave it back to her, and then later she was telling me, she was like, she thought he was like, I was expecting a girl, and then a fucking deep ass man voice comes on, and then she was like, hey, he's only 19. She's like, what the fuck? That kid sounds like that.
He's probably got the cojones.
Have you ever trained a girl? It's
No,
like one of the most
I've wanted to.
powerful distraction things, dude.
I wanted. No, wait. Have I? Not for a period of time. No. Like I've put girls through workouts, but never like. It was yeah. I really want the experience to like have a girl training partner.
Yeah.
But usually none of them ever.
This was like the first time we went training, though. I took her. She didn't really know. She said she hadn't been to the gym in 2 years. I was like, holy shit. All right. So I showed her the workout, dude. It was like the most awkward thing for her. It was like, but it was like a good awkward.
Yeah.
It built so much fucking passion. It's like she didn't know what to do, and she was just sitting there listening, like repeating everything I said.
You let her.
It was funny. And her fucking boyfriend called, and that built up the attraction even more.
Oh man. Let's see. What y'all's experience with Taurus women? I'm curious because I'm a Taurus. Let's see.
I don't know. I only started getting into astrology last year, and I'm not even into it. So.
I've had crushes on Taurus women at very, very, very young age. I haven't got with a Taurus woman. I'll say this. Taurus women tend to. No, I actually no. Yeah, I had. There was this Salvadorian that I actually tried to talk to. She was a native speaker, and she was actually like one of the main reasons I started picking up my Spanish, because I wanted to start talking to her and all that. And she was a Taurus. I'll say this: Taurus is really they tend to have a very stunning look to them. Sometimes, like there's just like this. There's this awesome grounded shine that this a lot of the other signs can't get. In my personal experience with them, but I've never dated one to really say. I've never down. Yeah.
Dude, that reminds me. Like I watched this movie. What was it? 310 to Yuma. Have you seen that?
I don't think so.
Okay, so it's like a Western movie, and I remember. No, this was fuck, I forgot what it's called. But anyways, this guy walks by with his bull, and the guy was like, "Damn, that's one of the best looking bulls I've ever seen in my life." And the other guy was like, "Man, that's a beauty." Like that's what that made me think of. But I can't speak too much on.
Yeah. Oh, my main experience has been I've had a lot of crushes on Aries. Very few Taurus. I've had a couple Geminis, but Geminis have mainly it's been more lustful with Geminis than it's ever been like crushing, I guess. Cancer, I dated one. We lasted a week. Leos, I've actually never ever messed with. I want to one day. I just haven't got around to that. Virgos, I have some experience with. Libras, I've crushed on a lot. I've dated a couple Libras actually. Yeah, two of them. Very different experiences. Well, yeah, sort of different experience. When I dated Libras, they never talked a lot, like ever. Like they'd crush on you and you know it, but they never speak. So it was kind of aggravating because like it was like I'd hang with them and they would barely really talk, and it was so weird because it was almost like when I would hang with them, say if a friend came by, they would start talking to the friend more. It was like they didn't really pay that much attention to me, so it was like it kind of just killed everything.
Yeah, that would sting.
But that was a long time ago. Yeah, that was when I was like 6th and 7th grade. Scorpios, hated that relationship. That killed me from the inside out.
I love Scorpio.
Sagittarius was okay. It was interesting dating someone my own sign. But also it just in the end my Cancer aspects ended up really sort of conflicting hard with that Sagittarius sign. Capricorn, my biggest crush in my life has been on the Capricorn. It's kind of scary because it still lasts to this day, and um, it's just one of those unfortunate situations where it's like it's someone you can't have, and you already know what the deal is, but you just gotta. It just is what it is because it won't go away. You can't kill that. You can't kill that aspect. You know, without killing off the lover within yourself.
In a year, and I still think about her every day.
Let's see, Aquarius is one I actually want to mess with. I've crushed on Aquariuses in the past, but I've never got with them. I feel like me and Aquarius would go hard. Because I feel like we'd have a lot of similar interests, and I feel like the communication aspects of air signs would really complement with me. Like some of the quickest bonds I've made have actually been with Aquarians. Like like we tend to kick it off real easy. Pisces never really had any experience with, so none at all. So Leos and Pisces I have no experience with whatsoever, really. Me and the girl who was a Cancer. Wait.
No, from this conversation, I know what I need to do later. I need to get into my astrology. I could learn that shit in one day, dude. I learned quick. So, like, once I get into something, I get into it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like a fucking, I'm like a Jack Russell Terrier, dude. Like, once he's out the car, you can't try to get him back in.
I feel like you're gonna have some sort of Scorpio. I wouldn't be surprised if you had Mercury in Scorpio.
Yeah, dude, because I'm a pretty like that person said, like, why are Cancers so freaky in bed? And I really vibe good with Scorpios too. I don't know. I'll see.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out tonight, actually.
I feel
like
it's gonna be.
I have my ruling number down, my day number, all that stuff.
Because you gotta, it's because if I know it correctly, you gotta have birthday.
It'll only take like 10 minutes. I can do it right now, probably.
Birth time, the exact birth time, and then birth city.
I have my birth chart here. I did this for my mom because I always wondered why she was such an ass. So I took down her birth chart. I was like, oh shit, that's why. And there's this one kid I hated named Preston. I wrote it down for him too. I think he was Leo. I think. Let's see. His birthday is. Oh no, I can't find it. It's just a shit ton of numbers. I'm into numerology though, a little bit.
I like watching your videos. You're real. You once made a video about a problem I have. So, much appreciated, True to Football. Much appreciated. You know what's very interesting about my birth chart and some other celebrities' birth charts that I know? I have one celebrity that I know that I've got a lot of similarity to, astrologically speaking, Will Smith and Kanye West, because we're both can't. Well, I think Will Smith is a Cancer rising. I know Will Smith is an Aries midheaven, and so am I. And I know Kanye West is a Cancer rising and a Aries midheaven. And one thing that I find so interesting about Kanye, like for example, when he came out and said like slavery is a choice, um, when that happened, I totally like it was weird because I understood what made him blurt out like that. You know what I mean? Like I understood why he decided, fuck it, I'm just gonna go for it. Because I'm so similar in that manner where I'm just like, I know this could completely backfire on my ass, but I have sort of a point, and we just feel like the need to communicate it because, like, fuck it. But like, also deep down, like me and Kanye are pretty big, like, scaredy cats, and what you call it, like sometimes like we're very hesitant. We got that like that natural shell, like where we might not want to go for confrontation, but at the same time, that Aries midheaven's like, fuck it, I'm ready for it.
Yeah. For me, confrontation's like a last resort. You gotta push me to the edge, and then you gotta like I don't know. The thing that sets me off is if you talk about my mom or my brothers. Really, anything else? If you touch me, that's it. That's all I could think of. But I'm never scared though.
Yeah.
I'm hesitant. Like, should I fucking knock this person out? Or
I feel that. I feel like that hesitation. Yeah, I definitely have that hesitation within myself as well. It sometimes I feel like it stops me. You know, like when sometimes when
have you seen The Punisher?
I've seen bits of it. I haven't seen the full thing.
Do you remember in the beginning when the fucking he's getting pushed around by that guy?
I think so in the jail cell.
No, he's he is. This is like the first episode. They're on the construction site, and this dude, they overhear or he overhears their conversation about robbing this place, and he starts getting pushed around, and he lets it happen, and then later on he fucking kills the guy. Oh, yeah. What were you saying, though? Yeah, like you were onto something.
I forgot. Shit. I was bringing up
hesitation.
Oh yeah, sometimes hesitation like it can like hold me back. Like sometimes where something probably should have happened, it didn't because I hesitated out of like maybe this might not be the best choice. But like now then you kind of look back on it like a few months later and you're like, I should have knocked the piss out that motherfucker and put him in his place.
Yeah.
Like there was this one night. This is a story I don't even like sharing because it's just like it just makes me feel like a bitch knowing it. I remember there was this one night. It was me and my friend, and we were getting ready to walk, and all of a sudden, this car just strolls up right in front of the house where we're leaving, and some dude starts screaming like, "Yo, the fuck is that JJ over there? What the fuck, man?" And I'm like thinking, at first I'm thinking like, who the fuck? What is going on?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they come up, and then my friend knew the guy, and he's like, "Oh, hey, so was that you?" And he's like, "Hey, is that yeah? Who the fuck is that? JJ behind your ass?" And he's like coming up to me. I'm thinking, the fuck are you so fired up for? Like, you know? But I'm thinking, okay, well, I know this guy. He's whatever's pissed him off. We'll see what happened. And low key, because like I knew the guy had a pretty good fighting skill, so like there was this natural like sort of intimidation with him. Because I knew he had ability. So it was like sort of like, okay.
That's a natural thing, dude.
So long story short, basically, there's somebody in that house that he wants to fight. They had some beef or whatever. Dude bitched out. he barged in the house, smacked the piss out of him a couple times, and then the person who actually lived at the house, he like put him out. He's like, and he talked to him. He's like, okay, like y'all gotta leave, you know, like and whatnot. He's like, well, I'm not leaving until you get that dude back out here, fight me. And he's like, you already smacked him around, like you're good, like you can leave, you know. And then he starts saying like, if you don't get him out here, I'm gonna start hitting on these two guys. And he pointed at me and my friend. And then I'm thinking, really, you really want to take it there? Like, is that really what we're gonna do? Like, I'm not even part of this fucking beef, you know. And he starts threatening my friend, you know. He's like ifing at him and stuff, and he's like, you better get him out, like y'all, I know y'all can get him out. And we're like, dude, he's scared of you. There's nothing we can say that's gonna get him out.
Yeah.
You know, but that there was that part of me, man, where the balls were tight, the anus was tight, you know, everything was just like adrenaline was pumping because I was scared of this guy a bit, man. And I remember when he started coming up to me, and like honestly, this is the moment where I should have just fucking went all out on him. When I look back, I was like, I could have fucking taken.
The most important part, dude.
You know, I'm thinking to myself like, I could have fucking taken this guy out. Like, sure, he had some fucking ability, but so did I. Like, I should have put that motherfucker in his place. Like, you know, I mean, fuck, he probably would have tried to come back and like rob me or some shit, you know. But I mean, like, fuck, dude, he's not gonna step up in my face and think he fucking owns me like that.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of the thing that pissed me off the most about that was the fact that he got that out of me. Because that response that happened, I was like, yo, like, you need to chill. Like, I'm not part of this. Like, your beef is with that dude inside, not me. And he's saying, like, you are square the fuck up. You're like, you know, I'm about to smack the piss out you. Like, I'm not trying to sneak you or whatnot. I'm like, dude, you want me to get this fucking dude out for you? So, like, you know, I text him, like, yo, dude wants you out and, you know, whatnot. And I'm thinking, and like, I remember after that night, we go home, whatever. You know, I'm scared shitless out of my mind. But like the next day, when I let that shit digest, I'm like, fuck, dude. I bitched out to that guy.
Yeah.
And that shit bothered me.
That's something you gotta that's just something you gotta move past. But the thing is, like, if that ever happens again, sometimes you just gotta experiment.
Oh yeah.
See what happens. Just fucking hit.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, the thing is with most dudes is they think, you know, they think they know how to fight, but they really don't, because even if they do have that fighting skill, usually it'll all go, that adrenaline will just take over them and they'll just start fucking swinging. And all you gotta do is, like, once you make that first punch and they start swinging and panicking like that, you just look at them like, oh, you don't even, you know, you can, if you're in that fucking hyper focused state, you're like, holy shit, this guy doesn't even know how to fight. And like, let's see how long he can last. 30 seconds, oh, he's already tired out. Now you can finish him off.
Yeah.
But I remember the first time I ever saw some shit like that, and this is why, like, I am hesitant on fighting a little bit these days. I knew this kid named Dylan Blackwood. He was about 6'3". He was about 230. And then there was this black dude named Daryl. He was about 6'4". He didn't look that much bigger. But this David Blackwood guy, he was known, like, you know, he was like a bully. You know, he beat up everyone. And we were in this parking lot, and he was meaning on this like, this dude was pretty big too, but he got knocked out. And his friend came, and he was this big. Daryl came, and he fucking picked him up by the neck, and he kept choking him there, and he was fucking squirming around. And then he wrapped his leg around him, slammed him down on the concrete, and he slapped him like that, and he said, "Call me daddy." And then he slapped him and knocked him out, because he wouldn't say anything, because he was like,
wow.
Like, that's like same size dudes, you know. That's why, you know, I'm not afraid of fighting bigger dudes. At the same time, like, you never know who's like, who can fight or not, you know.
Yeah.
But You know, you win some, you lose some. I've never lost a fight yet, but I don't like saying that because one day I'm gonna meet my match.
My friend and me were just talking about that the other day.
That's not even on my level. They're gonna be way ahead of me, and I'm gonna get my ass beat. So.
Oh yeah, no, I've had my fair share of ass whooping. Yeah, no, it's brutal. It's
the
so.
worst part is night fights, dude. When you can't see.
Oh man, I've been so close to having those happen. That story I just told you was almost a night fight. Yeah, it's. I mean, there was light on the porch, so granted, there there was a little bit of visibility, but it was like, yeah, gosh, man.
Well, like, I mean, this is the one knuckle that I don't use unless I absolutely have to.
Yeah.
That shit is like, not only is it fucked up, but whatever it hits, it fucks up.
Yeah.
I'll show you my cupboard, dude. And this is one of the main reasons how I fucked it up. Oh, it's fucking heavy. This shit. They call me and my dad One Punch Man. I knocked this off.
Oh.
All the way off. All those screws. I mean, all those nails. Those are double, or what are these, staples? Those are some thick ass staples. And there was a nail on the back. Knocked it right off. And that's so, like, there wasn't even anyone there. I'll be right back. I gotta use the bathroom. Is there any more questions?
Not anything that I'm seeing. I'll go ahead and ask them though. Y'all got I got one question. Nothing for us to really elaborate on though. Am I fluent in sign language? Yes, I am. Both my parents are deaf. Sign language is my first language actually, and in English was my second.
Oh, so that bioenergetic catharsis. I bet that's
easy for you. Because I'm all body language, man. But yeah, no, if y'all got any questions, man, feel free to ask up. I know we got 2 viewers on Instagram, 3 on YouTube. That's 5 together. Somebody's got a question. Let's see what's
ask a question.
Let's see what's popping lit.
I'm good at like trivia shit.
Trivia.
Even if I don't know the answer, I'm always good at guessing. Let's just talk about pain. Pain is fucking
going deep into that.
One of the most powerful things in the world.
It's one of the most necessary things. Let's put it.
Yeah, necessary.
You know, it's so crazy to me, dude. Like I've gone across a lot of Instagram pages. I do $1.80 strategy, and I go to hashtags like pain and whatnot, and I see posts where people are like, "Yeah, I just wish that I could just get rid of all this pain and I just wouldn't have to feel anymore and stuff like that." And I'm like, or people go home and they cry every day, and it's like I empathize. I do. I totally understand, how it feels to be in dark spots like that. But it's also like I really want to encourage people, like, take your fucking pain on. Like, instead of sitting in your bed all day watching YouTube videos, eating ice cream, get up, go for a fucking walk, and start to feel what you feel. Or even just go outside, sit down, and then think. Not even think, just feel. Just allow yourself to hurt. People are afraid of pain. I mean, we really are afraid of pain, and that's a natural thing. No one wants to be hurt, but
Yeah.
people don't understand that without being hurt, you're not going to grow.
Yeah. That's what makes a strong person, dude. Is the people that have been through the shit. You know, I've met a lot of people that haven't been through shit before, and they think their pain is bad. Like, man, there's so much more in store for you.
Yeah.
Wait, there's gonna come a time. I don't know. I feel like in everyone's life, there's gonna come a point where you just don't want to go on, man. There has to be with every single person. When you just feel like you don't want to go, like you want to die. And the thing with that is, like, you might want to die, but you're still going to die one day.
Yeah.
So you might as well just keep living until then. Like, I know it sucks. Like, I don't know how I'm still here today. I don't know how. I don't know how I got through that shit. You know, there was one day where I laid in bed for 8 days, and the only thing I had, I had little noodle packets because I would crush them up because I didn't want to cook, and I kept a big tall water thing, and that went out quick. And I remember not having water for 2 days just because I didn't want to go up and get water. Like, there's some of the hardest moments of your life you reflect back on it, and you're like, wow, you know, if you could go through that, there's so much more you could go through. You just got to keep going.
Yes.
It's hard,
but like,
it's so fucking hard. But
I encourage the crown.
You got to do something.
Wear the crown of pain.
Yeah.
You know,
that's
narcissist survivor.
With all that the crown of the thorn thing, like, that makes you a real king.
Yeah.
You put that on, you got to fucking wear it proud.
Anybody can wear gold. Who can wear a fucking thorn on their head with blood? You know, I'll never forget. I remember back in my sophomore year, just when I was really, it was just around the time because I'd pretty much lost like all friends. Like, it was the first time I really knew what it was like to have to be forcefully alone. As far as a person, you know what I mean? Like, there was people around, and there was people there, and I talked to them. But it was the first time I really had to lose everyone I was connected with.
Yeah.
And that shit, it was so hard to get used to, and it put me into that depression for a bit. And like, I remember, dude, just thinking to myself, like, I remember there were days, like, I remember it was like for 2 weeks straight, I would just sit in class thinking, how could I die today? You know, could I jump off of a bridge? It was like, what would happen if I just shot myself or hung myself? You know, like, I was literally thinking about, like, how could I end it today? You know, and I remember just like not wanting to feel miserable, but it was just like, it was almost in a sense like XXX said in one of his interviews, I was just too pussy to follow through with the suicide. Um, But it was just like that part of me. I remember telling the story in like one of my classes because we had this thing called check-in. And we were bringing up a topic similar to this. When was a time that we wanted to give up, but you're glad you didn't? And I'm like, and I shared that time. I was like, I'm glad I didn't give up when I was fucking suicidal. I'm glad I didn't give up on life because as bad as I wanted to get rid of all that, there was something inside that was like, you don't know what you're gonna miss. It was like, it was just that little bit of hope that like, you're gonna miss. You don't want to miss what's on the other side of this. Like, you aren't gonna see it now. You know, you're waking up thinking, you're waking up, you can't even see the sun. It's just gray. It is just gray.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, when at that point when that sun starts to rise, it's gonna shine in a way that you never felt it before. Like, now I feel like my happiness is amplified so much more because of how much of it I've lost throughout my life.
Yeah.
And I feel like if people can really get to that, and that's a big thing with appreciation, like the absence of something is what's going to bring the appreciation of abundance when you have it.
Yeah.
You know, when like relationships, money, whatever. Whenever you are in
A girl.
an absence, whenever you're in absence of it, when it comes back around, you're going to cherish it a million times more than you ever could have before. You know that people wonder, why do we? I thought about this a while ago. Like, why do we suffer? Why do we have to suffer? And I thought about it. It's like because nothing would ever be valuable without the loss of it. There would be no value. Like if we were happy our whole fucking lives, we would not know happiness because it would just it would just be a normal fucking feeling.
Yeah,
it would just be typical. It would actually be monotonously boring. You know?
The worst part is with feeling lonely is if you like there's a difference between lonely and being solitary, but if you're forced to you're forced to be in that lonely position and you don't know what to do with yourself in that lonely position, that's a dangerous place, dude. Especially when no one's coming to you. You expect people to come to you, but no one comes, and you're just there with yourself. That's when the real fucking breakthrough happens. Eventually, something's gonna go down. You're either gonna give up, or you're gonna find a way. And the worst thing you could do is get used to that pain, and just die inside. That's the worst thing you could do. I did that for the longest time. I got used to it. I didn't break through. I just got used to it and I lived with it. And there was just one day where I sat there and I was like, where is this happiness? Where's the love? Why can't I feel it even when people show it to me now? Like, it's been so damn long. And it's just a matter of feeling what you actually feel, finding out why, and doing something. Just doing something. You gotta do something.
Yeah. You gotta be active.
Like, you have to do something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
I remember my mom. I went crying to my mom. I was laying in my bed, and I was like, Mom. I called her on FaceTime, and I didn't even want her to see my face because, like, this was one of the worst pains I've ever been in my life, and I was just crying, and she was like, you know what? You want to do whatever you want to do. You want to kill yourself. Do it. See how it makes everyone feel. Watch. We're going to be in pain for the rest of your lives because of you. Now, what you could do is you could put your big boy pants on. You could get up. Keep going. That's all I got to say. And she ended the call. And at that point, I just told myself, it's time. And from that point, I started working on myself, and I still felt that pain, but eventually it started coming out in ways that, in better ways. I would use this pain for working out. I would use this pain for making myself the best version I could have been. And it was just those words, is put your big boy pants on and do something.
Yeah, don't just live in depression, accepting it as that's just what it is. Like, recognize that it's there and it's happening, and you got to allow that. But the only way you're going to get out is by understanding that at some point you got to get out of that.
Yeah, and you're not going to want to do it either. You're going to be sitting there, I don't want to do anything. I just want to die, but you got to do something. That's the thing. Whatever it is. Doesn't matter if it's a walk. Doesn't matter if you're mowing the grass. You got to do something, man.
Yeah.
Because eventually you're going to learn. You're going to learn why. And you're going to learn how to deal with it. Eventually. But you just got to stay in there.
Find a reason to go. You know?
Find a reason to live, because there is something to live for.
I remember when things started to look up a little bit for me, actually, and I was still very closed off. And my teacher pointed this out actually when I brought this up, um, because going into junior year, even though I had been feeling better about my life, all I really did was just close. I became solitary, but I became solitary because I was too scared to let anybody else into my life because of going through that again when I lose them.
Yeah.
And I knew I was protecting myself from that. I decided to become a lone wolf, not really by the choice of I want to be alone, but by the choice of I don't want to let anyone in at the risk of going through that again. So I was basically protecting myself from that pain, of that potential pain again. And it was really like getting to a place where I could say, you know what? Uh, it was, I gotta be honest, like it really took vulnerability. Vulnerability. That's when I started to like find a side of myself that even I was surprised to see. You
Yeah, you're
know,
not fucking invincible.
yeah, you're not. I remember,
Even Achilles had a spot, you know.
yeah,
Can't think you're invincible forever or one day. I don't know. That vulnerability, that's a big thing. Sometimes you just gotta get down in that fetal position and just fucking do it.
oh yeah. It really just what I encourage people, man, is if you're in that place, like you gotta you gotta move. You gotta you gotta you gotta start actively engaging with what it is that's slowing you down, that's got you in that spot. And like you said, you're not going to want to. But at some point you're going to have to, or
Yeah.
you can lose it all. I really try to emphasize to people, man, like you will not understand it now, but I'm telling you, by ending it now, you are missing the greatest time of your life after this. Like people really don't know how beautiful life gets from here on out. Like it was had junior year was one of the first years of my life where I woke up and I could genuinely like most of us just breathe, man. But it was the first time you could take a breath and really think, I'm fucking here, man. I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm living it.
Yeah.
I was more present in my life than I ever was. You know, it's very easy to lose ourselves in that present moment when everything's going good. But once that pain starts to come, oh, it sharpens you into the present moment real fast. And when you actually conquer it and get out of it and things are looking good for you, you really cherish it so much more and you're so much more present. Pain brings you, it grounds you in reality.
Yeah. And then you have to be grateful for that pain. Once you start feeling that pain, you gotta sit there like, oh, it fucking hurts, but it hurts so good.
I'll never
Like, I
forget.
know that sounds fucking crazy, but like,
It's real. It's just real.
yeah.
I'll never forget the night of my breakup on the last relationship. It took multiple breakups, but I'm talking specifically about the very first one. I remember the night of, I told her like I'm done. I know you're fucking me over. We just need to be over. I can't do this anymore. I don't trust you. I remember going to my sister's room thinking like I remember like it was right in front of her too. I went up to her and I was like, yeah, I did it. It was just time, man. And like I remember I was like feeling like a little good. And then all of a sudden everything just crashed. Like it was this feeling like of like, yeah, man, we did it. We finally got out of it. And then everything just stopped. And then I just was crying on the bed for like a good 2 minutes. Just I didn't know what to do with myself. And then that next morning, I went to bed that night. I woke up the next morning and all I could do was look at the bed and think she slept in this bed with me. And I was like, I can't stay in this fucking house, dude. So I walked for 3 fucking hours barefoot first thing in the morning. And I was just crying for about that good first hour, just straight, just constantly just going and going and going and going. I couldn't even. And there was this part of me was just like picking up all those minuscule details. Like, I don't get to tell her good morning. I don't get to say hey. I don't get to do anything. Like, I have to fucking live with it and fucking. And part of me was like hoping that she would make that text back. And another part of me knew was like, we can't. We just gotta fucking move, man. It was rough. It was such a vulnerable spot. But that pain,
Dude,
man. I tell you, man. I look back on that day now, and it's so weird when people are gonna hear this, but that was one of the most beautiful days of my life. Being able to feel something as intensely painful, as powerful like that, it's not every day you get that. So that was something I was extremely
so you
grateful
know
for.
you're still alive.
Oh yeah. That's part of what made 2018 so worth is that I got to experience something that fucking hard, that harsh.
Yeah. I'm gonna show you something. Fuck. I don't know why I keep this up here. I'll get a light. This is This is from my twin flame. I don't know if it's flipped, but it says, "Den, I'm so thankful I met you. You mean the world to me. I love you. Looking forward to many more, or looking forward to many more Christmases with you, Neria." And that was the last Christmas we spent together. And the last text she sent, it said, "I still have it in my old phone, but I broke it. I purposely broke it. Like after she sent that text, I punched it up. It said, no, it said, it will never be this. She said, it will never be the same again." Those words literally fucked my world. Fucked my world. And like those words now, at the time, it was like, oh, there goes my heart. But now
Yeah,
it's like, yeah, it'll never be the same. But that's the great thing. It's not the same anymore.
yeah,
Like now, I'm here. One day it'll be different, maybe. But as for now, I'm here.
yeah.
What happened back then, it matters, but you're still here. But I think that's a good place to end it there, eh?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Since this stream's about to end up, so
Yeah, just remember, guys, you're here, and there's something to do. There's something for you to get the fuck on. And even if you don't want to do it, you still got to do it. And once you get on that, you can master it. Even if that isn't even your purpose. If it's working out, if it's learning how to mow the lawn, if it's learning how to draw, get on it. It'll make you feel better.
yeah, it.
Something will.
I'm telling you, you make it through this, you like you're gonna look back on this a year from now, and it's going to be one of the most beautiful experiences of your life. I I promise you that. You make it through, you will cherish this for the rest of your life because there's not gonna be anything like it.
Yeah. Well, that was a good ass talk, Bo.
All right, y'all. Peace out. Next live stream is gonna be Friday. Motherfucker, show up. It was an honor having Den here for the second time. Keeping it lively, keeping it long, keeping it hot. Good night.
Uh,
Yes.